Hi guys, welcome back to Irish Philly Vlogs, and today we have a bit of a talking point video, and it's regards Drogheda United and the fact that they've suspended payment for players. Now, I have another section to this as well where I'll be quickly talking about some great work the Cobh Ramblers were doing, but let's get into the video. Now, over the past couple of days it came out that Drogheda United suspended payments for players and staff at Drogheda FC. Now, for me, that decision was a correct decision. It's only suspension, remember, players will get paid. It's likely we're going to have this season extended, so players will get paid through the course of the season, and staff for that matter, all kinds of staff at Drogheda United Football Club. The decision was made, I believe, on Sunday. Now, I seen an article in the 42.ie, and the article stated that Drogheda did not consult their staff, players, etc., and didn't have a meeting over the situation. Now, that is true, but you have to take things into context and look at the whole background here as well. The chairman wrote a letter to all staff members stating that this was going to happen, and stating that it would happen, that their wages be suspended for the time being. You have to look at it this way as well. Clubs at this minute in time have no income. There's no money coming into these clubs, and we're all in a delicate situation, and you know, we're in a phase that we're in uncharted territory here. Everybody's in uncharted territory. Now, Drogheda and Chairman Conor Hoey decided to take decisive and efficient action, very quick action, which I think was the right decision. Now, the criticism was that they didn't have a meeting with the players now and staff alike. Now, by the time you'd have a meeting with players, staff, etc., you're talking a couple of days extra before action is taken. You're also, what isn't seen to be considered in the article, getting people into a room. Now, we're told that we shouldn't be in a room full of people, essentially, during this crisis, basically, you know. And that means, you know, safety is of the utmost importance. Now, it could have taken a few days to get staff members into a meeting. As I said, safety then comes into the equation as well. So the quickest and best way to do things was probably to write a letter. Now, the PFAI secretary, Stephen McGuinness, came out and he said he was disappointed that he wasn't basically notified. But he was notified on Monday about this situation. Okay, you might say it was slightly after the event, but at the same time, you know, there wasn't time to maybe think about actually phoning him earlier, etc., And I don't think, in fact, I know that notifying Stephen wouldn't have made much of a difference. It wouldn't have changed the minds of what Drogheda were going to do. So they took the decisive action quickly, and Stephen did get that phone call, in fairness, on the Monday. I spoke to Conor about this, Conor Hoey, the chairman of Drogheda, about this, and you know, he has his club to look after. He's the club to look after, players, staff, etc., to look after, and he wants there to be a club when this starts again, you know. So he wants his players and staff to be looked after. And you might say, spending wages, how's that looking after them? Well, if you suspend the wages, that's fine. You know, the players will get paid eventually, and the fact that by doing that, they will have a club to come back to, and players and staff will have a club to come back to. It wouldn't have been possible to let this linger on and on and on and on. Now, Stephen McGuinness, I think, has 6 players that he represents in the Drogheda squad. But as I said, Conor Hoey has a club that he has to look after and represent as well. And this won't be the only club. This is decisive by Drogheda, to be fair, but there'll be many other clubs, particularly in the First Division, that are going to follow suit in this situation as well. And to be fair, instead of everybody trying to criticise everybody should be trying to help everybody essentially in this situation, because it is uncharted territory. Things are delicate all round, never mind for football clubs. And, you know, I just think the article on the 442.ie was very, very unfair and having a go for having a go's sake. Now, as I said, I talked to Conor Hoey personally about this, and just something he had to say about this as well, and he told me I could use this as well. So this is from Conor himself. He said, "I'm really annoyed about the article saying that players didn't know. I'm not sure what we were meant to do. Convene a meeting while the virus is kicking in. That's why we wrote them detailed letters with offers of support for hardship, etc. And remember, the pfai only represent a quarter of our players and not our coaches or staff. Hope this helps. We're taking this action now so we have a club after this is over. After all this is over, rather. Is to protect jobs in the longer term. Same as so many businesses." Now, I think that's a fair point, and the point I was kind of making as well, and something I actually thought of, which is why when I read the article, the 442 or the article that I thought, I just had question marks over it. So I contacted Conor himself, and, you know, rightly, you know, as I say, the players did know about this. They were told in a letter, but as he said, how can convene meetings while the virus is kicking in? You know, it makes no sense. It goes against everything everyone is saying, basically. So, you know, I think they did the right thing personally. I think, you know, he has clubs and he doesn't want to distinguish between the pros and the amateurs at the club as well, where Stephen McGuinness would be looking at it from just the 6 representatives on the PFAI, but rightly Conor doesn't want to distinguish between the different levels of payment or not payment within his staff. With the extended season, all these players will earn what they earn anyway. They're not training at the moment, remember, as well. You know, Conor also said that they wrote a detailed letter to all staff. He said the article makes it look like we don't care about players, which is really unfair. And that is unfair, I think, as well. Look, you know, as I said, this is a difficult situation for everybody. I think the article was a little bit unfair and having a dig for a dig's sake. I think Drogheda personally are doing great work and will continue to do great work and have taken the right measures here. So that's all I have to say in the situation. I just thought I'd get a bit of a balance out there as well, because the article is it's a bit untrue in patches and kind of making things sound like they're worse than they actually are. So that's it about Drogheda. I just want to have a quick word about Cobh Ramblers as well, guys, and some of the great work they've been doing, and a good news story as well. It's nice to have a good news story every now and again, isn't it? But Bill O'Leary, their chairman, you know, set up a number of initiatives to do with mental health mainly. I know he has, there's a plan for a Darkness into Light event to, you know, have staff members, players, fans alike take part in this, and will be taking part in this. Taking part in this come whenever we're through with this virus, basically. But you know, they're looking into, there's a lot of youth mental health things going on, and you know, within the club, and it's bringing the community together. They've set up classes, breaking the silence classes, you know. It's to help with self-esteem, mental health workshops, how to cope with situations and that, particularly with young people, because the suicide rate is up for young people, etc. It's really bringing that Cobh Ramblers community together. And these workshops help because it brings people together, and anyone who feels uncomfortable, I suppose, feels more comfortable in those environments as well. So it's a good news story, and Cobh are doing great work in relation to that, and I just wanted to give them credit for that and point that out. So that's about it for this video, guys. It's a talking point video. I just wanted to get my points and facts across, really, and just you know, get the facts from Drogheda United themselves regarding this. And it's a tough time for them as well, and these measures wouldn't have been taken lightly and wouldn't have been something you'd really want to do. But to get kind of slandered because of it was very harsh in my opinion. So that's it, guys. If you're new around here, please subscribe to the channel. Plenty more videos coming up. I'm going to have a top 5 goalkeepers out soon in the next day or two or something like that. I'm going to do the same with right backs, left backs, centre midfielders, left wingers generally, and strikers and that kind of thing. And I'll have plenty of content on the way. See you later, guys, and take it easy. Bye.